I'm Stacy Cardoza, and I was asked to do a short little video about anxiety. And I had all of these great things that I wanted to say, and I've been thinking about it for a few weeks. And I thought, well, before I, get online and record this, I should maybe pray about it. And so I did, and really what I want is for God to speak through me, and that it would not be my words at all. That if my experiences are something that can benefit somebody, great. And if not, that God will just find a way to meet you where you're at, so you hear what it is that He wants for you to hear. I have some experience with anxiety, and it's not the anxiety disorder that so many people struggle with, and I have loads of sympathy for that, but myself, I don't quite understand it because I've never felt that. I've never had that ongoing, like forever persistent, everyday type of fear. But what I do have is things happen in life that cause anxiety. You have kids that don't do what you think they're going to do, and that causes anxiety. And you have friendships sometimes that have bumps in the road, and that causes anxiety. Or you have bills that need to be paid, and that causes anxiety. Or maybe you have medical issues, and that causes anxiety. I can tell you that I've been there this year. This has been a pretty tremendous year for us, with some medical issues and surprises, things that we weren't expecting. And I know that if you've been there, then you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you're the person who has bills that need to be paid and not the money to pay them. I've been there in my life more times than one. I've been at the point where I was afraid to pick up the phone because I didn't know who was on the other line. And the heart starts racing, and how do you deal with that? And I've been that person who, with marriage problems and not knowing what the next day was going to bring, or who was going to walk in that door, and how do you deal with that? I've dealt with all of that, and I probably will for the rest of my life deal with some of it. But you know what's different is how I've learned to deal with it. I used to be a person who would say, why me? Why don't they do it the way I think they're going to do it? Or if I do this, then this will happen and this will happen, and I'm going to make a plan and it's all going to work out. You know what? My plans don't always work out. In fact, more often than not, they don't. And I've just spent all of this energy and all of this time and all of this mental real estate up here trying to figure out a plan, and it was never mine to figure out. And one of the things that I've learned, and maybe I can share with you, and maybe it'll resonate with you, is God already has a plan. And we've heard that, like if you're a Christian, you've probably heard that for forever, because I did. But letting that sink in, getting to the point where that becomes a reality in my life and not just a cliche, that's the difference. Knowing that I am not driving this bus, or I shouldn't be if I'm trying to. Get back, be a passenger, let God drive. Pay attention to the way, watch what's going on. So a few months ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, went through breast cancer, was thankful for it. I can't even tell you exactly why I'm thankful. I just feel so much peace. Maybe that's why. Because throughout every step of that, I allowed myself to let God work. Last week, I had a stroke. What? What is that? I don't know. But I did. And it caused fear. And it caused anxiety. But I was able to stop because I chose to look for God. In that moment of anxiety, in that moment of fear, I chose to seek the Lord. He says that if He is for us, who can be against us? He takes care of the lilies of the field. He is our rock. He's our hiding place. We can go when we're scared and frightened. We can go straight to Him, and He's our hiding place. He's our shelter. But then the word also tells us that we are more than conquerors through him. That's what I've been learning. I can go to him, I can hide in him, and then I can come out victorious. I can come out a conqueror because of who he is. It doesn't happen if I don't hide in him first. It doesn't happen if I don't go to him first. But once I go to him, he builds me, he fills me, he loves me. He equips me and prepares me to walk forward in whatever that situation is, whatever that anxiety, whether it's a bill that needs to be paid, an employer that you need to have a conversation with, whether it's dealing with your kids or your husband or your neighbor or your best friend, it doesn't matter. Go to God, let him fill you and equip you and build you, and then go out and be a conqueror. It's what I've learned. I ain't come up with it. It's in the Bible. Read it, live it, love it. God bless you. I hope that there's something here that resonates with you and that you go out and you be a conqueror.